Okay, so now it's time to build. This is the current, it's a big form that we're getting in exercise number 4. It has already a lot of styles on it. So let's just run it and see what we get. Oh no, oh yeah, this is from the same exercise as before. Okay. HTML brings some more cool tricks forms. Here's a few. We are using placeholders to help the user understand how to fill each specific input. You can see here. These are the placeholders right here. Mobile phone. So this one has first, last, and age, but this one has placeholders. So that's super cool because when I start typing, the placeholder will go away, but it will show the user what it needs to put there inside the input as long as it's empty. So that's cool. It's a cool trick. Then there's an input type email. You see? So this one is an input type email. By the way, that's not a type email. It's supposed to be type email. That's better. Because the type email is super cool because it will validate already that you are not typing anything. You need to type an email. So if it's an input type email and I say hello and I try to click subscribe, you'll see that it's telling me that I have to include the at symbol because it knows that it looks like a text input, but it's not a text input. It's an email input, and it will validate the email for me. It will prevent errors. The same happens with input type tel for the phone number, and then the input type URL. Then I can also put required to make mandatory, and it's asking me to apply the required attribute to the email only. Okay, so that's cool. If I put here required and I hit run again, you'll see that it's telling me that I have to fill it. Okay, I'm gonna fill it. I'm gonna put whatever, and then it's telling me that I had to put an at symbol. So that's super cool. And then I put Gmail, whatever. For the phone number, it's not even gonna let me type letters. I know it is letting me type letters. What if I hit subscribe? It works. So the type tel maybe doesn't work on the phone number. Let's read a little bit more about the type tel. Okay, so after reading a little bit, it's telling us that it's a good practice to use the input type tel, but it's not gonna give us any extra functionalities because telephone numbers are so complicated to validate that basically they decided to avoid any particular validation by default. You have to put a pattern like this on the input and specify how you want that phone number. So my recommendation would be to avoid this right now. Keep using the tail as a good practice, but do not focus on the pattern right now because patterns are a little bit cumbersome, and we want to talk about regular expressions later. Um, but if you do want to do it, let's say that you want to do it, I don't recommend it, but if you want to do it, well, this is a pattern that it's telling you to put 3 times numbers between 0 and 9, 3 times, and then you must put a hyphen, and then you can put 3 times another bunch of numbers from 0 to 9, like 3 digits. Then you have to put a hyphen, and then 4 times numbers between 0 and 9. That's what this says. Okay. Okay. So the the last part of the exercise is telling me to apply the required into the email. So I'm gonna put it's already there, and then using the autofocus attribute will focus on the cursor in the particular input when it was apply the focus to the email. Okay, I'm just gonna put the focus here. That's cool, and then we're gonna run it again, and I haven't typed anything, and my input is already blinking. My cursor is already blinking on the email. Look, if I start typing, it's gonna show up on the email already. So that's the autofocus. That's super cool as well, because remember that forms need to be accessible. So that means that if I don't have a hand, then I should be able to use the form as well. So it's a good practice to put an autofocus, and then I can use tab to browse around my form with tab and shift tab. Shift tab is for going previous inputs, and tab is for going forward into the next inputs. Cool.